It's just like paradox, right? Yes, I know you hear. All right. So looking bad for the old Donaldo, Big T, looking bad for him. I've been seeing more data. I've been seeing the more data, and the elderly votes. So let's go back. I just tweeted something. It's from the Washington Post, so discount it as you will, but it's consistent with what I've seen and heard. And you have to remember, there's a right answer to this. Who won the election for Donald Trump in 2016? Right? What group? What group of voters tipped the electoral scales for Donald Trump in 2016? It was the two-time Obama voters, right? Jack Murphy wrote a book, From Democrat to Deplorable. If you're just going to say you're wrong, I'm going to block you because I don't care. You're an idiot. I don't care. Pay attention or leave. I don't care. It was the 8 to 11 million, depending on how you count it, two-time Obama voters who went to Trump. It was the populist movement that got Trump into office. So what did Trump do when he took office? Donor class shit, right? Trump got elected on the populist wave, the two-time Obama voters who voted for Trump. Lifelong Democrats voted for Trump. My family, my uncle, lifelong Democrat. My family's lifelong Democrat, right? Lifelong Democrats, except for my dad. And Trump got all those voters. Then he took office. He did a trade war with China that I supported, but he didn't get relief to farmers soon enough. So a lot of farms failed. And then when the pandemic coronavirus hit, he didn't get enough relief done to farmers yet, so that failed. And the reason I know people are desperate is everybody's talking about Hillary's emails, right? That's to get a sense of how bad it's looking for Donaldo. Right now, people keep sending me a tweet that Pompeo is going to release Hillary's. I don't give a fuck about Hillary's emails. There's an election in 3 weeks. Who said I'm trusting the polls, idiot? Why don't you read me before you make a stupid comment, right? Why don't you read me before you make a dumb comment? I don't trust the polls. I'm just telling you what I know, data that I have, data that I've seen, conversations that I've had. And you have to remember that the relief to the farmers didn't get there soon enough. So we're now talking about Hillary Clinton's emails again. Do you know how fucking stupid that is? There's an election in 3 weeks, and people are blasting to me that Mike Pompeo said on Fox News he's going to release Hillary Clinton's fucking emails. Are you out of your fucking minds? Right? But that tells me you're losing. That tells me you're losing. Because if you're like Hillary's emails, what a dumb distraction. We'll deal with Hillary's emails in 2021, right? We'll deal with Hillary, and we got the anti-Semites showing up, Cernovich in the parentheses or whatever. That's how you know it's bad. The Hail Mary is Hillary Clinton's emails, right? Who cares? TikTok crew, they Pied Pipered you for a long time. The Durham report. I told you people, McCabe lied under oath. That was according to an Inspector General report. McCabe lied under oath multiple times. He wasn't indicted. I don't know what people thought the Durham report was going to be. Rather than focusing on voter drives, get out the vote, voter registration, a lot of other practical aspects to win, that wasn't focused on. But the counter argument is that it goes like this, right? I was talking to a Uber guy the other day, Uber driver, and I could tell that he didn't like Trump because he said it took 1 million people to get to Trump. He was joking about Trump's coronavirus stuff. And then I asked him who he's going to vote for. And, when I talk to people, I have no agenda. So people open up to me in a way they don't with other people. And he goes, I don't know. So I think there's going to be a lot of people who could vote for Trump, who could vote for Biden, who won't. So Trump might pull it out narrowly because people think, well, why vote for Biden either? A lot of right. That's really what he's got to bank on right now is, why? Because I get that from a lot of people. They go, wow, I don't like Trump, but do I really want to vote for Biden? So I think a lot of people just won't vote. That'll be similar. But the elderly are afraid of coronavirus. Coronavirus wasn't handled well. Will Chamberlain's here. He can attest to that. I mean, I was on coronavirus day one, So frustrating. I got attacked by my own people, my own readership. That's why I love when people are like ratioing me today, dude. I got ratioed for telling people to just wear a mask, you know? People are like, you fucking sell out, you this, you that. Like, I got abused for just telling people, hey, you know, why don't we just wear a mask and try to like get the economy going and shit, right? They can't even do that. So the elderly people are all spooked about coronavirus. They know people who have died. They're the at risk group. Old people vote, right? Old people vote. I love people telling me I was wrong about coronavirus. I was not only right about coronavirus, like, I was just so, like, objectively right that there's no conversation to be had. Right? That's what blows me away. It was just, I was so right about coronavirus. If it had been handled earlier, this shit would have been over in April, maybe in May. Not over, but the economy and the economic, the secondary effects would be have been mitigated significantly. Because what did I say early on? I said Meals on Wheels for old people, because old people and obese people are the ones at risk. That's where the death rate's coming. The media always wants to say, oh, 29-year-old this. They find some like stray anecdote. I said Meals on Wheels for the elderly, right? Just bring old people food, bring them their medication, and let's Uber to do it, right? There's just a lot of things that I said. I said this isn't money morning quarterbacking. I was like saying this is what we got to do, and then let the healthy people take risk. Let healthy people take calculated risk and do something to keep the elderly safe and protected. Cuomo killed the old people in nursing homes, but that got blamed on Trump too, because Trump's people weren't on message. They should have been screaming bloody murder about, you know, Hillary's emails. They should have been doing a report on Cuomo sending people the elderly, because those bodies got put on Trump unfairly. That's what that's what kind of blows me away is people are still hung up on the idea that has Trump been treated unfairly? Sure. My friend Amanda Milius is releasing a film, The Plot Against the President, an amazing film that I promoted heavily. I'm aggressively promoting it for free, by the way. I'm not getting paid. And Trump was treated unfairly. There was a coup against Trump. All this is true, but none of that really matters. At the end of the day, saying the referees were rigged doesn't change the outcome of an election. So what can happen? What can what can turn it around? I guess is the issue. Just so many dumb people here. I gotta just block some people. So many stupid people here. God. And yeah, so the nursing homes, that was done by Cuomo, but it got blamed on Trump. They weren't proactive enough. So, the question is, of course, always people are like, well, how can he turn it around and everything like that? And, something big, anything could possibly happen. Why block? I'm going to block you for asking me why I'm blocked, because I read comments. Here's what people have to understand. I read my comments. And if your comments don't edify me and inform me and educate me, then I'm just going to block you because I read them. It's a thing of respect. Like my friend Lionel can tell you, we've met in real life in Chicago 2015. I'm a very respectful person, and I want to know what people have to say. But if you're just insulting me, then I don't really see how that's edifying. You're not edifying the readers. You're not edifying me. That's just the reality. So the question is, can Trump turn it around? The thing about being in the game is anything can happen. Biden could collapse, right? That's why Biden is That's why Biden is doing what he should be doing. He won't say he's going to pack the court or not pack the court. Why? Just don't create any headlines. Don't create any headlines. Lay low, and then hope that nothing bad happens. Big tech, they're now censoring tweets now. Twitter just said that they're going to prevent tweets from going viral. I wonder which way that's going to go, right? So Twitter is making it now so pro-Trump. They won't say it's pro-Trump, but they're making they're going to make it so tweets don't go viral anymore. They're pulling out all the stops because it's going to be a barn burner still, right? Anything could happen. It's going to be a barn burner still. Going to be a barn burner. Going to be a barn burner still. Yeah. So all the tech companies, you got to realize, all the tech companies, they have the internal data. They see what's going to happen, and they know it's going to be close. Right? Trump might win Pennsylvania. Under some models, if Trump wins Pennsylvania and Florida, he wins the election. So there's still moves you can be made, but every day that goes by where nothing happens is a day that Biden wins that vote count, right? There's been a record number of early votes. I've seen something like 10 times the amount of early votes this year as last year, right? So early voting is going wild. The question, of course, is who do you think is doing early voting, Democrats or Republicans? So there's a lot of data that we're seeing that we don't really know what it means yet. So we know that early voting is massive, but we also know that Democrats went from vote early to you got to vote in person now, because I don't think that early voting for Democrats favored them as much as they thought it would, right? Early voting, they thought for sure would favor Democrats, but the Democrats went from early voting, mail in voting, to now saying, well, you should go in and vote too, right? It is so it isn't going as um, well for Democrats as you would think. There's a record number of new Republican voters. There's a record number of new gun owners. So there's a lot of data pro Trump too. So if you're looking at the data the way I do objectively, right? A lot of Gen X people who were not for Trump last time will be for Trump this time. But the elderly vote, the coronavirus vote is going to go for Biden. A lot of I'm hearing this more and more and more. So Trump gained Gen X voters, not younger voters, but younger people don't really vote. The elderly vote, though, that's brutal. And Trump at that debate, the debate was bad, people. The debate was really bad. And you can blame the moderators, you can blame a lot of people, you can point a lot of fingers, but the debate went really bad for Trump, especially with the elderly, and the elderly people actually vote. Now, a lot of people go, well, black vote, how many votes does that move in electorally close states, right? That's where people lost sight of the prize. Politics is fundamentally about the electoral college, and it isn't about, oh, what if we can get 5 or 10% more of black urban voters? I mean, that's nice to have. You don't turn down votes. You need to be more worried about the farm vote in Wisconsin, though, right? It's just like if you. So I'll just tell you this. And this is something Jared and Ivanka and they never really understood about the populist thing. The Rockefeller Republicans never really understood was if you want to win Wisconsin, if you want to win Wisconsin, then you focus on farmers, right? You focus on the populist movement. You make sure people are getting what they want, but instead of that tax cut thing, that's what Trump had, right? Trump had the populist wave. They had the House, they had the Senate, they had the presidency. They didn't do anything for social media. So Trump doesn't have social media the way he did in 2016. People who, people have found, you got to remember, I had 85,000 followers in 2016. October 2016, the New Yorker wrote that big profile on me, 6-page full profile. I had 83,000 followers. Twitter in 2016 was more effective for Trump than Twitter in 2020, even with people with all these followers. Now I have 700,000 followers. 700. I lose track now, right? In my mind, I forget that I have 700,000 until people are like, you have 700,000 followers. It doesn't feel that way because there's so much shadow banning and suppression. Right? I at 83,000 followers in 2016. Twitter was more on fire than it is with 700,000. If you could say, hey, Twitter can be like it was in 2016, and you'll have 1/10 of followers, I would say in a second, right? In a second, I would take that deal. Are you kidding me? Not even a close call. So, ooh, whoopty shit. I have 700 some thousand. Whoopty shit. That right? Whoopty shit. Who cares? you know, 50,000 followers, 60,000 followers, 80,000 followers, when you're actually able to have fun, different conversation, so to speak. Yeah, it was neutered. It was neutered for sure. And then the botnets being run by Democrats. I mean, I know Twitter well, and you'll see things. I'm like, how does that have 100,000 likes already? Joe Biden tweeted out something about a fly, and it had like 100,000 likes within 10 minutes. Get out of here, right? I know what real engagement looks like. And but that's being allowed. It's just completely it's now the game is that in 2016 everybody had fair access, right, to go viral. In 2016 if you're a Trump supporter you could go viral just as equally as a Hillary Clinton person could. 2020, that's not true. In 2020, if you're a Trump supporter, how often do Trump supporters go viral, right? Almost never. The most dumb, moronic, not even interesting, banal, basic bitch tweets from the resistance go viral in like 30 seconds. That was clearly changed. So it's clearly changed where if you're a Trump supporter, your stuff's not going to go viral. And I say that as somebody who does well on Twitter, right? So I'm just telling you that I'm doing fine. I'm not, oh, Mike's crying. I have more reach than ever, objectively, but stuff just doesn't go viral. Stuff doesn't trend. When's the last time something pro-Trump trended? Pro-Trump stuff would trend in 2016 almost every day. So social media made sure that the message couldn't get out. The narrative was all Russia, 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 all a hoax now. Obviously all a hoax. And doesn't matter though. Message got out. Coronavirus is handled badly. Biden just kind of laying low. You got to remember, 2016 was never supposed to happen, right? 2016 was never supposed to happen. There is the shy Trump voter is real. There's a lot of things that are real. That's why I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout landslide for Biden at all. I definitely don't think it's going to be a blowout landslide for Biden at all. It's a close race. That's why Democrats are pulling all the stops. But as of right now, as of today, the TikTok stuff hurts. Oh yeah. The whole idea that TikTok, boom, indictments, all that stuff, that was the greatest psyop against Trump in electoral history. The TikToking, the Pied Piper strategy, the Sean Hannity, bombshell this, bombshell that. Sean Hannity suppressed more Trump votes than any Democrat. Sean Hannity suppressed more Trump votes than any Democrat through all of this. Don't ask me if I'm on the Trump train or anything, man. That's the block too. Don't ask me who I'm voting for or what I'm about. Just pay attention, try to follow along, and learn how to think. So Sean Hannity suppressed more Trump voters than anyone with false hope. Oh yeah, they're all going to be indicted. No, you should have been registering voters. You should have been doing get out the vote drives. Whole bunch of things, right? Whole bunch of stuff that could have been done, and wasn't. So that suppressed people because it sold people on false hope. It's called the Pied Piper strategy. Oh, follow me. There's going to be massive indictments. TikTok, the Durham report. TikTok, boom. And then that doesn't happen. And rather than all that time and energy being spent more productively in terms of voter drives, voter registrations, messaging, fighting back against the fake news narrative, you just wasted, years of your life. So it is what it is. Yep, people got Pied Piper right off a cliff. Scott Presler should have been in charge of voter registration in 2017, right? All this stuff didn't happen. Scott Presler did more than Sean Hannity, and that's not even close, but he was largely shut out from drinking a cold brew, iced coffee or something like that, cold brew, right? That's just the way it is. So people say positive, negative. You got to realize whatever happens November 3rd, you wake up on November 4th and you're still here in your country, right? I don't get demoralized. That's what people don't really understand. I don't get demoralized. I've dealt with crushing personal losses. And I've had to be reborn like the Phoenix many times. So I don't wake up November 4th. I just wake up, okay, it's another day. You have to live in the circumstances that you're in and not become destitute, demoralized, hopeless. It's a long game, people. It's a long game. It's the way you have to look at it. Whereas everybody else invests too much hope in one outcome, too much hope in one guy. And, well, you'll know the final results on November 4th if it's a Biden landslide. Sure you will. If Biden's ahead, the election will be called on November 3rd. That's a fact. If Biden is called, if the election is for Biden on November 3rd, I'm blocking you, say you won't know the 4th because you don't know anything. You haven't thought it through. If Joe Biden is ahead on November 3rd, the election is going to be called. That's it. And anybody who argues with that will be banned for disinformation. They'll be banned for incitement. That'll just be the way it is. If Trump's ahead November 3rd, if you claim that Trump is ahead and won, you'll be banned for disinformation. Right? Why do I like Scaramucci? Don't worry about it. Mind your own business. We're not in high school. Blocked. Yeah. That's where I think a lot of you still don't get it. The election, if Biden's ahead, the election is going to be called for Biden on the election night. If Trump's ahead, we'll be told don't call it, and if you do call it, you'll be banned. And then there's going to be a mass people being locked out. Anybody pro-Trump who claims that Trump won November 3rd is going to be locked out. And then that counter message won't get out. It's just the way it is. So what can be done? It's not my job to help Trump get elected. Is Cernovich just making us worried to make you scared to vote? No. I tell people you should vote all the time anyway. It's got nothing to do with that. I'm only sharing my now. Trump, a month ago with the riots and everything, should have cruised to a landslide. Right? He should have cruised to a landslide with all those riots. But now the Democrats hopefully can keep their minions under control. Hopefully can keep more. That's what they have to do. Keep the riots, prevent the riots. Don't give them any headlines. Don't commit to court packing. Don't commit to defund the police. Don't commit to anything controversial. Lay low, and hopefully, go in there. That's where it is. All right, friends. Thanks for watching. Mike Cernovich, Cernovich.com. The plot against the president. Go to my pinned tweet and watch the plot against the president. The plot? No, I'm not going to give you an interview. I don't give interviews because you can just read what I do, I have books. Read my books. The plot against the president. Watch it. It's out today. The plot against the president. Hold on, I got to block a few more people.